English for Luis Enrique. When you've won the first leg 2-0 and you've shown that you are superior to your opponents, are there any errors you need to avoid committing? I'm sorry, I didn't really catch the final part. Are there certain errors you need to avoid committing once you've already won 2-0 in the first leg and shown yourself to be superior? Well, yeah, of course. It was only the first game. We now have to play the second game. So, of course, when you play in this competition and you play away, it's always tough. And you're playing a team at Liverpool's level as well. So they're trailing, but it's still going to be difficult for us. That's quite clear. We know that there are going to be times when we're going to experience difficulties playing against Liverpool. Well, do you think that the first 15 or 20 minutes are going to be really important? Because obviously Liverpool are going to try to G their crowd up as well. Do you think that's going to have a huge impact? So you're going to tell your players to be particularly focused in the first 15, 20 minutes? Well, listen, I think normally at the beginning of the game, yeah, sure, it's important, absolutely. But in today's football, the whole result can change in only 5 minutes anyway. The complexion of the game can change in 5 minutes. Everything can change in just 5 minutes, depending on whether you concede an early goal or score an early goal. It's important to start off well, of course. Start off the right way, of course, but that's not only the most important thing of the game. Well, you've got a lot of experience as a player, as a coach. I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying you've got a lot of experience. So is it easier to be ahead in this kind of a tie, or is it easier to have to come from behind? I can't hear you in the microphone. Can you speak a bit louder? So speak louder. Speak up. And I'm young, by the way. I'm young. It's not because I'm going deaf, because I'm getting on. More or less. So no, I spoke about your experience, not your age. Yeah, all right. So you've got a lot of experience as a coach, as a player. That's true, says Luis Enrique. And then you won 2-0 in the first leg. Who's going to have it easier tomorrow from a mental point of view? Is it better to try to come back from 2-0 down, or better to be 2-0 up and then have to manage the game? Well, that's the real difficulty in this game, because, you need to be really careful. There could be pitfalls. It's almost a trap. Everyone says you won easily, 2-0. You were much better than the opposition. People say that. That might be the case. I don't know. But things can change so quickly in a football match. You need to be really careful, take care of the details. You need to be ready, because you can concede a goal in the first half, and then the game's still open, isn't it? So you need to be really careful. I think what I do think, though, is that you need to prepare this game exactly as we've always prepared previous games. We'll go out there to try and win the game, like we always do. That's what we've always done. But I think that obviously they're going to have to come out and attack, try to score. But I need to ensure that my team knows that, we will encounter difficulties in this game. It won't be easy. Just to come back to the atmosphere, I think we can all remember, probably you more than anything else, what happened at Villa Park last year. And if you remember, the crowd really got behind Aston Villa. Is the atmosphere something you're a little bit concerned about tomorrow, even though you did overcome Liverpool and the crowd last season? Well, obviously you're playing at home and you've got your crowd behind you. Well, that makes things easier for us. You've got a great connection with your fans, haven't you, between the home team and their fans. We're aware of that, of course. And it's much better to be playing at home. And it helps to play even better as well, absolutely. So we don't want to allow Liverpool to benefit from their fans and the atmosphere they create, because We know how difficult it is to play in a stadium like Anfield. But it's also a source of motivation for us as well, of course, because we're going to want to play our game. We want to overcome them and to win the game ultimately. That's our aim. And perhaps I run the risk of repeating myself once again, but there could be a few pitfalls in this game. It's almost like a bit of a trap, as it were, because people around the two teams talking about perhaps the differences that exist and existed last week, but it's still going to be a really tight game, I reckon, despite what's happened thus far in the tie. Is Fabien has got a serious injury, and is it something? Fabien Ruiz. Initially, you said he'd just taken a knock. Now he might have a fracture of his kneecap, I think. Well, we need to discuss this with the doctors because we're the best will in the world. Journalists aren't medical experts. I'm not a doctor myself. So that's it. Normally, medical information is private to the players, and we need to respect the players from that point of view as well, and respect everyone's health and well-being rather than indulging conjecture about an injury. But Fabien is on his way back. He's now training with the team, which is great news for us. Well, lots of people are talking about the quality of your game already last year. And do you think that given what happened at the beginning of the season, you had lots of ups and downs, do you think now your team is even stronger, psychologically speaking? Do you think you're playing better now? Well, it's difficult to analyse that to know whether we're stronger this time around or less strong. I mean, I don't think it's going to get you anywhere anyway, talking like that. I think the important thing is that we've shown what we're able to do. We've had a strong mentality to overcome those difficulties, which means that probably the next time you come up against some difficulties, you're better placed to overcome it. Means you're better placed to play well. And this is one of our qualities, I think. I think that we prepare games in exactly the same way, without looking back at the previous game to see whether we won, we lost, we drew. We have the same mentality as we had last year. And last year we absolutely had to win because we'd lost in the first leg. And this year we won the first leg, but we'll prepare the second game in exactly the same way. Well, if we can just talk about Bradley Barcola for a moment, do you think... is he available? Do you think he could play 90 minutes? Or do you think he'll be eased back into it slowly but surely? We'll just play a few minutes at a time? Well, we're going to have to see. See after training. But each and every time we've got a player coming back after an injury, it's always good news. It's always good news. Good news to have players with us. Bradley Barcola, I think, has been out, what is it, 3 or 4 weeks? 3 weeks. He's been out for 3 weeks. And he's been working hard to get back, and yeah, we'll have to see how he's feeling today. It's important for us, of course, to get players back, and I think at the moment it's just Fabien, Quentin, that's all. So only a couple of players.
Hello, coach. In English, I wanted to ask you about before the first game. You said that you want to have the ball more. You had over 70% of possession. This time, Arne Slot said that he wants to have the ball. Clearly, how are you going to oppose him and the team? Because you probably want to still win the game and not leave anything to accidents or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be difficult. If you analyze the matches that we played last year, first match it was similar, not in the result, but in the condition and in the situations during the match, more or less. And the second leg, it was so different. It's difficult to have control when they press all the time and they need to score goals. It means they have to take risks. It's going to be a lot of space, and yeah, it's a different match. We can manage the ball. We love to manage the ball. We love to have possession of the ball, but we can attack also with spaces, and we love attacking in counter-attack also, and trying to be tough thing in both zones. I think it's one of the best things that we have.
Bonsoir coach. Bonsoir coach. Xavier Montferrand de Radio France. Vous avez insisté.
Well, you insisted. You keep saying, it could be a bit of a trap, this game. You need to be very careful. You dominated the first game. You won 2-0. It could have finished 3-4, 5-0. But you only won 2-0. So does that mean that you, in terms of your approach, can you motivate the players? I mean, I know they're motivated already. It's a Champions League quarter-final. But can you actually motivate them by saying, listen, you're only winning 2-0. Well, as a coach, we always need to try and strike a balance. That's what we do. Strike a balance between the things we consider to be important. It's only a narrow lead, particularly given how well we played in the first leg. But by the same token, we are ready to overcome difficulties. We know that I'm not hoping they won't put us in create too many problems for us, but they will create problems, and we need to be ready to overcome those problems, and that's the key aspect. And then after that, as you said, all the players are already motivated, and you need to motivate them as far as is possible. We've got a lot of experience of this type of a game already, of course, and I'm sure that we'll be ready. Definitely we'll be ready, but I'm also sure that we'll be suffering in some points of the game as well.
Hello. I read that when you finished playing, you came and stood on the cop for a game. You had your hood up and tried to blend into the crowd. Is that story true? And why did you want to come to stand on the cop?
No entendí un carajo. Excuse me.
Could you repeat, please?
I didn't understand your accent.
Sorry, I read that when you'd retired from playing, you came and stood on the cop for a game.
Ah, really? Yeah.
Is that true? Can you remember which game it was and why you wanted to come to Anfield?
Yeah, nice question. How do you know that?
It was in an interview that you gave many years ago.
Okay, I don't remember because my head is not working out of football world. But I don't remember the match, but it was nice. I wanted to live as a supporter, one of the best stadiums in the world, at Anfield, and I enjoyed a lot, and it was different. I remember I got the tickets because Luis Garcia was playing here, and he gave me the tickets for me and for, I think, 10 more people. And it was very nice, very special, very different from what I lived in the past as a player. And yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Merci.